So next I'm going to introduce Erin Griffin of NextSpace. It's been around since what, the early 2000s, the whole idea of a co-working space. Erin is here to talk to us about NextSpace and the 9 different NextSpaces that have opened up around the Bay Area, and this particular one is in Berkeley. Now the unique nature of this one, from a San Leandro perspective, is that Lit San Leandro actually provides the gigabit connection to NextSpace in Berkeley. So welcome, Erin.
Hi everyone. I don't really like these things, so bear with me. You can go to the next slide, please. Just in case you're wondering, working alone sucks, that's kind of our tagline. We think that that's true. Our A-frame outside of all of our spaces, that attracts a lot of attention. People always want to know what that means, so get yourself a good tagline. That's my first point for you. Just wanted to go over that these are the things that I'm going to go over in the next 10 minutes. I'm hoping to do it in 10 minutes. So we're going to start off with our story, kind of similar to the grassroots story you already heard. We're going to talk about our expansion process and the steps we take when we look at expanding and opening new locations. I'm going to give you a 360 tour of our space, the one in Berkeley, I mean. Next, we're going to go over our pricing structure and the amenities we offer to our members. And fifth, we're going to go over what our community is and what a co-working community entails. Could we next one, please? So our company started on October 1st, which is coming up 5 years ago. So we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary very soon. And it started with Jeremy Nooner and Ryan Cootery, both who were very influential in the city of Santa Cruz. Jeremy used to be run the Office of Economic Development, and Ryan used to be the mayor. They both knew that Santa Cruz needed something else. The whole downtown core, very similar to Berkeley, is very controlled by the student base because of the university there. And it was really difficult for the businesses down there to have cash flow coming in because students don't really have cash flow. So how do you bring people to your city core? How do you bring people with disposable income to the core to help support the businesses in the city? If the city's thriving and the professionals are there, it will grow and innovation will happen and the revenue of the city will change. So what did they do? They found a really awesome historic building with the idea of making it a nonprofit and turned it into a co-working space. It is an 11,000 square foot space that has some of the coolest dudes ever. I mean, guys who make Atari videos like that 30 years ago are working out of that space. It's really cool. And now we're 9 spaces later, and it's not a nonprofit anymore, but it still operates with the mindset that we're not a major for-profit business. It's all about creating that innovation and driving that community. Go to the next one, please. And I'm not going to go into the book too much. They did just publish a book, and a lot of the ideas I think that we're going to talk about and that San Leandro is concerned about today, they discuss in this book. It's mainly looking at how the workforce is changing. Ever since the economy has fallen apart, more people are working for themselves now. They've lost their jobs, they're contractors, they're working for 10 businesses, and they're doing it all on their lonesome. The workforce is changing, but everyone still needs support. Not everyone can work for Google, not everyone can work for Zynga. We can't all have these huge campuses with massages every other day and like 10 or 15 different restaurants and 5 different cafes to eat from. But we want to feel like we're part of a community, and we want other people to tell us our ideas suck, or tell us that, you know, you should be doing that better, or this is a really great idea. And how do you do that? You do that in a co-working space. And this book kind of tells you how that all works. So if you have interest, the book's here later if you just want to go on Amazon and check it out there too. Next one, please. So we have 9 locations in 5 years. That's pretty heavy. That's quite a lot of expansion. We've opened the last 5 in the last, I don't even think 18 months. We're taking a little break right now. But these are some of the points that we consider when we're looking at a space. First point is we want a major city center close to where we're opening. Cities drive traffic, more people live around cities, and you're going to get a bigger membership base and a more cultured community within your space if you're around the city. Public transportation and parking options are super important. People need to be able to get there, and they need to be able to get there efficiently. Sorry, guys. So making sure that those are accessible is also very important. 3 is retail and food centers. So you want things for your members to do. You want them to be able to go out to lunch and go buy that card for mom, you know, on their lunch break for Mother's Day or whatever it is. And by having these people in the city, they're supporting those businesses like I mentioned before, but you're also giving them all these resources that they only have to walk within a couple blocks to do. And that's really attractive to a lot of people. And you won't get that working on the Google campus. You have to get in your car and drive away and do all that stuff. So that's a good advantage there. Next is you want a community where you can have potential business partners. So let's say, for example, in my space, we get partnership discounts for all of our members at the YMCA. We also get free bike parking at the Berkeley bike station. We get discounts at different restaurants around the town. So there's all different people that we've aligned with that drives their business, but gives our members discounted advantages to paying a membership by being in our space. So as I keep reiterating, there's this community happening here. There's this flow of people helping each other out. That's the core of co-working, and having amenities and these type of things right here is how it works. A couple other points I do want to mention is we really love historic spaces. We really love the idea of taking old spaces that aren't being used and turning them into something awesome. There's no reason we need to keep building more spaces. There's plenty of vacant space out there. So how do we make it awesome? And how do we make it good for people? And you want a good landlord. You want a landlord who's going to work with you. You want a landlord who says, I'm going to give you this 9,000 square feet, but I have another 5,000 square feet, 2 floors up. So if you need to expand, or if your members are outgrowing your space, they have a place to go, or you have a place to go later. So that's always something to consider, because the nature of co-working is helping to encourage your members to be successful, and they will outgrow you. So how do you provide services to them once they're done with your co-working space? And lastly is we want to be in spaces where people are educated and professional and they need solutions. So example, I put Next Kids there. We just opened that in Potrero Hill. We now have a co-working space in a part of San Francisco where there's a lot of families. Inside this co-working space, we have childcare. So you can go to work and take your child with you. So not only do you necessarily want to be in a space that you're like, there's a lot of professionals here, but professionals just don't need a place to work. They need a place to go that's also going to help them in their personal lives. Balancing work and your personal life is very important. How do you do that? You create a community with solutions to help them be the professional they want to be and be successful by giving them these other options. This is myself and Charlie. I'm about to take you on a tour of my space. Each one of our spaces has a community curator, which is myself, and a community builder. As a community curator, I spend a lot of my time curating the space, planning events, making members happy, doing tours, things of that nature. And Charlie really does an awesome job of assisting me at all the operational and money aspects of running the space. So together we are a tag team, and we are at your service in the space. So this is actually in the old historic Wells Fargo building and right in downtown Berkeley. It's directly across the street from the BARTs. We've turned the old bank building into a co-working space. We also share it with like the retail side of the bank, but we took their old office and turned it into a co-working space. Click to the next one. This is just some of our signage. You can click to the next one. Next one, please. This is an example of a one-person office we have. Pretty basic amenities, a desk, chair, marker board, garbage can. I'll go over the other amenities we have, but that's a good idea of like a smaller office we would offer to somebody. And go to the next one. This is our kitchen. I'm a pinball nerd, so we have an AC/DC pinball machine. And on Fridays when we have happy hour, we do pinball competitions. It's a good way to do team building events. Next one, please. Keep going. This is actually, that door right there is an old bank vault that we converted into a conference room. And I thought the idea of putting grass outside of a bank vault like it was growing out of there was awesome, so we did that too. You can go next, please. This is a view of our cafe space. So we do have the second floor and the first floor, and this is a small view of our open space we have there. Go to the next one, please. Another view of our kitchen. So our kitchen is fully stocked with all the coffee and tea you can possibly ever want. Internet, caffeine, your co-working space will fill up, no problem. It's super important. Next one, please. And there you go, there's the tea right there. Next one, please. We're going into the vault now. Next, please. Sorry, there's a few more pictures. So this is our less traditional conference room. It's got some loungy seating. It's got a small little table. And when it's not being used for a conference room, it just turns into open communal space for people to use. Next one, please. This is a mosaic piece we put on the really ugly bricks we had there. It's also a sound dampening aspect. It has foam behind it that captures sound. So not only is it an art installation piece, but it's also has a purpose, which is pretty cool. Next one, please. This is our fire exit hallway. Next one, please. We let people park their bikes there. There's some room for it. Next one, please. More artwork. So I have a friend who manages a lot of artists in the East Bay, and artists are always looking for a place to put their stuff. And in exchange for having their art in our space, we do art shows for them. So we open our doors to the public so people can come in and view art. So these artists, we have about 10 different artists in our space, and now they have, their art has visibility not only to all of our members, to every single event we have and every single person we tour the space. So it's pretty substantial, the amount of foot traffic and visual traffic that these pieces get now than they did before. Next one, please. Just one of our loungy areas. Next one, please. A view from the window into the downstairs. Those little balls actually are called puff balls. I made those with my friend, and they're also an art installation piece made out of yarn and foam that also captures sound. Next one, please. These are our workstations. So these are dedicated desks that specifically go towards one person. It's not a shared desk. So we kind of put them in pods because we find a lot that we get groups of companies that want to work together, so we keep them all connected. Next one, please. This is our traditional conference room. The table's modular, which is great, so you can move it around however you like, and it turns from a 16-person conference room into like a 30-person conference room. It's fantastic. And when it's not being used for a conference room, we take 4 of the tables off and we turn it into a ping pong table, which is also fun during happy hour. Next one, please. And that's just the door. You can actually escape out of it. I think we're ending here. Another view, of the space. And you can just, and that's the sign that gets everybody coming in every day. Great. And if you actually want to go on Google Maps, there's actually, on that same page, there's actually a 360 tour where you can like view it like a camera, like you're walking around the space. So you get the idea. If he's right there in the corner right there. If you click on it to the left. And actually, there's a NextSpace member of ours out of LA that does these. So if anybody's interested in being connected to them, I'm happy to do that for you. And there's a number 1, too, if you want to go down right on the picture, if you want to go down to the first floor and check it out at all. But we can leave that for you guys if you want to look at it more. I just got a couple more points and then I know I have to move on, sorry. So if you can just go back to my presentation, please. Thank you. And the next slide would be great. So what all of our members get is, like I said, all the coffee and tea you can drink, what we call the SDFI, which is super duper fast internet, and that is provided by Lit San Leandro. They brought it all the way through the BART station and everything for us, and I can't tell you how happy all of our programmers and techie guys are. Their computers can't even go that fast. It is quite impressive. They also get, mailbox membership, 24/7 access, use of the conference room, all the partnership discounts. They get me and Charlie to manage all of their needs. They get access to all 9 of our spaces. So you can be in Chicago or you can be in LA and you can work out of one of our spaces, so it gives them flexibility. And they don't have to worry about any of the other junk that goes along with having their own space. They don't have to worry about any utilities or paying for the internet or having a cleaning crew. You pay a membership fee, you're done, and we manage all of that. I'm not going to go to the pricing sheet. You can go to our website, you can look under our locations, you can see all of our membership prices. They do vary from location to location, and all of our pricing is dependent on the economy we're in. We want to make sure our prices are adaptable to the incomes of the cities and the towns that we're in. So you will see that they will fluctuate from the different areas. If you can go on to my next slide, please. And this is some pictures of our community. We do all sorts of fun things all the time to just be more than an office space. We drive events, we drive energy, we make all of our members get together and eat lunch every single Tuesday. Make them all have a beer with us at 3:58 on Fridays. Our goal is to make sure everybody knows each other and that we are making sure that they are all living in the space and creating this community that just makes it fun and makes it, you want to go into work every day and you're not working alone anymore. And the last page, if there's sound and you hit the space bar, you'll see my CEO dancing around for you guys. And that's about it. I think if, yeah, anyways, okay. So thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. So it was interesting that the very first space, the magic number was 11,000 square feet. How many of you know the Union Bank building on the corner? Hank Diedrich, are you here? Because Derek and I toured that space, the old, how long has it been empty? It's like a gazillion years. I heard a decade, I heard 5 years, whatever it is, a long time. It would be so, and it has 2 bank vaults. It would be so cool. So anyway, we're trying to figure it out, but I think we may have a space if we can get this, if we can figure out how to move this project down the road. I think it would be a lot of fun.